Hello again. This is the Watering Man. This is part two to Harvest Time, the four realms of loving God. I have it pre-recorded, so here it goes. Hello again. This is the Watering Man. Now this is part two to Harvest Time, four realms of loving God. Okay? Now, when it comes to loving God truly, there's four realms of this. Each realm is got many levels in it. It's coming all the way from this infinitesimally, like Plonkley size granite of love when you germinate God. Or even before that, before it's that seed's down in there of Christ. So it doesn't lose nothing. But man, you're just so small, there's no way there's almost nothing, but there is something of God done in there. He put it in there for an insurance clause for you. He loves you before he even knew you, before you even knew him. This incompleted love, that child, love you beyond the mere description of words. He put that down in there, coming out of that and going all the way up to a fullness of life. All that one thought process is completely back in union and trusting, resting in him, and it's all enlightened by him. It would be like going up to Weos and then going right back, living in there, existing. You're coming all the way back into the patir. Fullness of God, wedding supper of the Lamb, marrying God. Okay, now that's in one thought process. All your thought processes, remember, these are radioactive to that fleshly thinking. Radioactivity destroys the flesh, destroys this fleshly thinking in your mind, okay? Now, continuing in this, okay? Now, in this, like we're calling this red, yellow, orange, and green, okay? And the red, that would be the unregenerated state of your being, of your existence. The seed of Christ, and they're completely surrounded and plumb buried in your own humanistic thinking, your own black, dark thinking. And it does nothing but paint you black and brown. Paint you brown, paint you a piece of bullshit. Humanistic shit. Shit's thinking. Sin, hear, taste, touch, and smell with nothing but ego. Ego. I'm your king. Just do it your way. Right? It's worthless and detestable. It can't do nothing. All that stuff in the end, if you stay there, all that stuff is just coming off, and there's just that little tiny speck down in there that's buried that God put in there. Thank goodness that's in there. God loses none. Okay? He's not a monster. He's omniscient. He knows it all. He's omnipotent. He's all powerful. He's omnipresent. He's all the way down even in that smallest. God's in control of this thing. He's not messed up mad scientist do all this stuff that donkey thinking in your carnal mind leads you to believe. Just because that 666 humanistic nature is in your mind and in your works, your efforts, don't mean you should believe it. Don't stay down in that cesspool in the outhouse of your carnal mind. Pay attention to God. Listen to the teacher at the front of the class, and Jesus at the front of the class saying, this is the way, the truth, and the life. This is how you do it. Pay attention to that. Don't get out there in the playground, which is really a cesspool. Mud singing. You're not just saying mud, you're singing feces. Man, it's nasty, good, bad. It's all ugly, smelly, and all kinds of yuck. Vomiting on each other. I was out there and had to listen to that. Man, I'd be throwing up all over the place. I'd be empty stomached. Okay. Okay? Now, so that's the stranger realm, is this unregenerated. They haven't even germinated. You got these two in your earth, your field, your earthly thinking. Huh? You got your own carnal mind, actively hostile and opposed to you going to and into God, through the light of God, through the love of God, to believe in God loves you. You want to put Billy Goat religion? That means on the contrary, or contrary-wise, or here's another way of thinking of it. Giving you an alternative to God's way. Don't believe that. They say, here's a good way and here's a bad way. If you don't like a good way, here, try this bad way, get mad. Man, throw the bullshit flag on it. Man, that stuff is nasty. Pay attention to the teacher. Okay. Now that's a stranger realm. That's red. Don't be red with God. Yeah, but there's a storm on my life. There's big calamities and stuff, and God must be a devil out there. Whatever. Good, bad, ugly. That's not right. God's bringing this stuff to give you an opportunity. He's just hitting it up. So be reasonable now, child. This is how you do it. This is the way you get out. You gotta green light me in this. He's like load testing your bridge so that you can carry a heavier and heavier load. Kind of like lifting weights. You gotta tear down those muscle fibers and stuff to build them back up stronger again. Alright. Now, so that's the stranger realm. It's unregenerated. Then if you generate it, you would be like 2 to the 0 power. You're acknowledging God. You'll be coming up to a 1. 2 to the 0 power is 1. 2 to the first power is 2. 2 to the second is 4. Just go right on up. Now there's a whole bunch of levels, orders in this to get there, okay? Now these are orders doesn't mean you just do it that many times and you're done. No, there's a whole lot of it, and that's in each area if you're thinking, and this is affecting, it's radioactive, and it's not just affecting that ball of your thinking, it's affecting other balls of your thinking. It's like affecting the radioactivity of God is affecting other parts of that fleshly thinking. It's changing you from the inside out. And that reflection in there is changing others. Whether you're speaking to them, anything. Just sitting quietly in their in their midst. That's a lot of times what you feel kind of rejected or out of place. Sometime whenever, and you ain't done nothing wrong. Sitting there thinking they love people and stuff, and then they just like hating on you. Or they may not be saying nothing to you, but man, they just all of a sudden move off like you stink or something. And you just took a shower or something, you know, so to speak, you know. No, they're thinking stinking. It's good, it's bad, it's ugly. Okay. Now. So you come up by this red way of loving God, and you're just generating it. You're agreeing with God one time. Okay? You're acknowledging, well, maybe there is God. You know, you're coming up to this level 1, then you're coming on up, right? 2 to 4 to 8. Then you're coming up into this, what they call the Omer. Which is like, it takes 100 of those omer, or a sheaf, to make 1 omer, in like the dry measure. At the end, when the harvest time comes, and they're harvesting that dry grain, a homer is fully. That one's 1, it's ripe, it's perfect. This thought process is perfect. And God, it's completed by God. You green lighted, you have all that you God has brought you to the fullness of life in Him. The whole thing has been, that whole thought process is radioactive in God. Oh my goodness. That 35,300 million trillion grains of sand spots inside that one thought process is 100% enlightened by God. Now you got a myriad of those thought processes, but you know that one's going to affect them because that's radioactive, right? That doesn't mean your whole mind's regenerated, but it's been affected. Okay? Now, whenever you get this in this, you're coming out of the stranger realm, the red, you're red in the face with God. Okay? Then you come up to this yellow area of loving God, this realm. Alright? And you're like an acquaintance. Okay? And you're really yellow, like a chicken, you're yellow-bellied sapsucker. You give up easily. Well, I'll follow God as long as there isn't any pressures on my life. As long as I keep eating just the good stuff, any hardships, man, I'm going to turn back to my red Adamic ways quicker than just that. Man, that sucks. World is going to hell in a handbasket. See, I told you. Huh? It's like I see it come out on the hard ground, it sprung up quickly and it died off quickly. Alright, the heat and the sun come out, man, it just died. You're just an acquaintance. Okay? That would be like an Omer. And that's like 1/100th of an Omer of the fullness of life of God. But if you keep living inside the Omer, you're being acquainted with God. And you're greenlighting God. 2 to 0, becoming out of the stranger realm. You're going 1, 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. You're going on up. Okay? Get up higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Keep going. Come on up past that 30. Let's say. Okay? I don't have that one color coded. But then you get all the way up to a 10th. Like the tithe. Alright, a tithe is 1/10. Okay, and that's 1/10 of a homer. And this would be equated to like orange. Love. Okay, you're a close friend. Your realm of loving God is you're coming up to a close friend that won't give up easily. They're pretty faithful. Right? They're not giving up. They're going to stay with you. When it comes to loving God truly, they're worshiping, submitting to God's will, the truth. The truth that you know shall make you free. They're a lot closer than this down in the yellow-bellied sapsucker chicken shit stage, if you will. Speak a little stronger language to you. A little bit of earthquaking going on, man. Get come out of that stage, man. That's a bunch of bullcrap. Don't stay doing that. Keep going. Keep existing. Join near in the land of Goshen. Stay in the mind of Christ. Exist. Okay? Alright? So it's yellow stage be like day 1, orange be day 2, and the green be day 3. Your resurrected wind in the 3rd day. Right? This stranger realm's plumb down in there. They don't what? We don't build, huh? Dumber than a rock. They may think, man, I'm just so brilliant. Look, I got all these man-made doctorates all over the place or whatever. I got all this humanistic thinking just back in my butt. You better believe me. No. I believe that voice of God calling out to me, calling out to this church, this ecclesia. They're saying, it's wrong. Come back to me, be reasonable. Say it my way, my child. See, my my children hear my voice and the voice of another, they won't listen to. They won't listen to this old yuck stuff. Cause them to be red in the face or yellow, a chicken. Afraid, give up real easy. They'll come up and be this true friend, this close friend in the orange, this tithe. Alright, and this is a neat thought process. That's the orange. But you know, it even goes farther than that. Coming right on up, keep coming out all of that. Keep coming on up. And you come back into the green phase. I have color-coded green. That's the bride, the homer. That's 100%, baby. I'm sold out. The tithe of the tithe. That'd be a tithe is 10%. And a tithe of the tithe would be 1%. I like to put 1% or less. Equal to or less than 1%. Man, you're right in there. You're putting on the wedding garments of God, just like in this electromagnetic spectrum. And it's a spiraling staircase when you look from the end view, right? Coming all the way from this radio waves, going all the way through all this stuff, all the way out to the X-ray and the gamma ray. X-ray generates from the outside the nucleus. This gamma ray generates inside the nucleus where God's strong force, like his gravitational love, inside that is the strongest, and it's holding all that neutrons, your living, existing, and all these positives of God, increases of God, good news of God's being held together by that strong nuclear force. Now as you live there, you go on beyond that, out to the, right back to God. So it's like cosmic force. Your mind, your cosmos thinking is coming all the way back to God. And however far God brings each one of them is he places you in the body where he sees fit. How much are you going to green like God? Oh my, buddy. Alright, now. So, the red way, unregenerated stranger. The yellow way, that's the owner, the sheaf. Remember, we're dealing with the dry measures in the harvest time. They give up easy. They become a chicken. Okay? A close friend stays with you. Hard times, another thing is the tithe. It's an ephah. And then the homer. Equal to or less than 1%. You're right in there. You're becoming one with God. You're the bride of Christ. Marrying God. E-N-S-Y-N God. Okay? Now, this homer, when you find that out, it also says, is a biblical unit of volume used for liquids or dry goods. Okay? Now, let me see here. Homer is basically like in the natural, be like 1 homer equals 10 bushels. An ephah is basically like 1 bushel. Okay? Ephah is that like the true friend. But that bride realm's even closer. And you get on down to these other ones, ephah, and it's coming down all the way down to the quarts, and then it takes 37 quarts to equal 1 bushel. Okay? I'm not going to go through all those right now, okay? Now, let me take you somewhere I want to just touch on something. Romans 12, well, it may. Well, that is. Oh, I'm loading that other one. Okay, now let me read that. Romans chapter 12, verse 3. I know I've done this before, but we're going to get just a little bit more here. For I say, through the grace given to me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly. Where you at? You're in the red way, stranger? Your acquaintance? Your true friend? Your bride? And there's a whole lot of areas in between. All these are made up of a whole lot to get all that 35,000 to 300 million trillion grains of sand. dark stuff out. Where you at? Be sober about it. Don't be like drunk when you're in dark thinking. No, drink that new wine. God loves you beyond the mere scripture words. Huh? Come on, man. Live, exist in God, okay? Now, let's see. Not to think of himself more highly than not to think, but to think soberly according to God, according as God has dealt to every man the measure of faith. That measure is metron, okay? Hang on just a minute. I'm trying to use this thing. I've got the notes all right here. We've done it before. But let's get here. I'm going to go a little deeper on some of this. Now this measure comes from metron. This is the measure, 3358, metron, E-M-E-T-R-O-N, this word.
Strong's G 3358. Metron.
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 Right? Now this metron is a limited portion of your faith, of that pistis, and that faith is coming to the truthfulness of God as you generate it. And then you 1 to 2 to 4, you just keep greenlighting, keep it living, existing in that. And you're coming up through these ages, or these realms of loving God. Come from the stranger realm to this Omer, or sheaf realm. Yellow is the acquaintance. Huh? Say, man, I'm really going now. Each realm thinks they're the greatest, but there's much more. You come on up to the ephah, the tithe, the close friend. Coming on up all the way back to the fullness of life in God, that Homer, the one. Back to oneness with God, the bride realm, where you're marrying God, becoming one with Him. In the flesh, in the natural, two became one when they're married. There's a deeper and deeper level of enlightenment, of loving God. He's bringing you back. He loves you beyond the mere description of words. When you was down in here to the red way, you was red as red could be to Him. As small can be, as small, but God put it in there so He can't lose any. He wouldn't lose none. Alright. He put it down in there as He calls out, and He gives the increase as you greenlight it. But you have to greenlight it. You have to come back emphatically in hot pursuit. Yes, sir, Daddy, God, agreeing with God. Oh my goodness, and let that other stuff become dead, widowed to that other junk. You're coming up from the red to the yellow to the orange to the green. Remember, you're coming up from the unregenerated to the Omer, 1/100th, to you're coming up through, I didn't even touch much on the says. That's the 30. Okay? 30 over 100, 30%. And to the tithe, true friend, close friend, the 10, and then back up to the 1, the Homer, okay? Now, this measure, a limited portion, 3358, metron, okay? Now, let me show you something here in a minute. I've got a little bit. This word, let me have it pronounce it. This is metron, this word.
Strong's G 3358. Metron. Metron.
I might have already had it pronounced. It's a neuter noun. Neither male or female. In the spirit, there's neither male or female. God's put it in all. Okay? Quit that nonsense. Alright? Now, let's go down here. Let me show you here. This in the New Testament, in the TR Greek Concordance, this metron occurs 13 times in 11 verses. It means limited portion,
It's like a quantity, an instrument for measuring. It's a way of measuring it. All the way from this tiny, like 1e to -35. Point 34 zeros and a 1. Tiny, man, of one homer being fully in God, okay? And all that, man, you got a long way to the top, okay? Now, let's look at some of the places in this, and then I'm going to have to get off here, okay? So we don't want to stay red in the face to God and regenerated. We don't want to say a yellow-bellied sapsucker, yellow, a chicken, an acquaintance. We don't want him to stay a true friend, close friend to God. We'll come all the way to the bride if God will allow us. Get all that you can get, okay? Now, I'm just going to, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to try to read them all because I've only got just a little bit. But I'll give you the locations of those 13 times in 11 verses, okay? This word metron is used. First case is Matthew chapter 7, verse 2. Okay? It says, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure, metron, you measure, you meet, I guess that's what you pronounce it shall be measured to you again. In Matthew 23:32, fill up then the measure of your fathers. That's metron. In Mark 4:24, Luke 6:38, John 3:34, Romans 12:3. However, I just read that one to you. For I say, through the grace given to me, to every man not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God has dealt to every man a measure of faith, a metron of faith, okay? 2 Corinthians 10:13, Ephesians 4:7, I'll read that one to you. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure, metron, limited portion, of the gift of Christ. It's a gift. Wow. This insurance calls it, it's a gulp. It can grow into a full load. Oh, another way of putting this, Homer, this bride realm, in there, I looked over it here, but I got it right here, got green all around it. It's a donkey load. God's transforming this donkey nature, this black ignorance of God, into his righteousness. And when he brought you up to this Homer, this 1%, this like 100%, 30, 60, 100-fold, right? This 100% is like a donkey load. And he's transformed that whole donkey load in that thought process. That's as radioactive in God as you could get. That's full bore, 100%. Okay? Now, Ephesians 4:13, Ephesians 4:16, and the last place, Revelation 21:17. Alright? That is the 13 places and 11 verses. Okay? That metron is used, that measure, that limited portion. And that limited portion is the four realms in this measure, the harvest time. Alright, it's a way of measuring it. Okay? And so from the stranger realm up to the acquaintance, yellow, the red to the yellow, to the orange, true friend, up to the bride. And there's many levels in that. Thank you. I love you. Hope this helps clear up a little bit on the harvest time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Now, this, that was it on the harvest, okay? On the dry measures of the harvest, when God's cutting down like the field inside your mind, He's harvesting. Like when you die, the harvest time, okay? Whatever level should be brought up to in each thought process, okay, of Himself, that goes back to God. The rest of that crap just goes back to the earth. From where it came, the dust returns to the earth from where it came, right? Like Ecclesiastes 12:7, and you look at 6:6 and 3:20. All of them's Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon. Solomon, King Solomon, the wisest man, spoke about this 3 times right there. And all these other references, God's bringing you up there, and so you can come back. Not have to be that little bitty pipsqueak down there. And in each round, you're coming up through all these. You're either red, unregenerated, coming up through the phases. You're coming in the yellow belly chicken phase, fair weather friend stuff. That's that omer or sheaf. Takes 100 of them to equal one ephah, or one, let's see what I think it's 100 of them equals one homer. And an ephah, that's one